What up? Minasan yokoso. How y'all doing? Fuck me. We in for another night of Genshin Impact. This is not me continuing the nightly stream. This is me starting a new month's worth of streams. So reminder, tomorrow I will not be streaming. This is one of 4 streams for the week. Yeah, something like that. Now, if I remember correctly, we can't actually do anything right now. Yeah. Until I hit Adventurer rank 10. So, time to go do some side shit. First, let's go talk to some people, though. I seem to recall they just, like, gave you a bunch of crap. Maybe I'm misremembering. So I could have sworn when I played this, they just gave you a bunch of stuff. Maybe not. Let's go see what Kai is talking about. Cool. The answer is SRPGs. What up, Terrence? How you doing? And SRPGs? Do you mean strategy RPGs, or are you trying to be funny and say like Singapore RPGs or something like that?
おお旅人、これは千の風に感謝しないとな。今お前に出会えたこと、これはきっと神のおぼし飯だろう。凡人を助けるため風神が使わした使者よ。どうか手を貸してくれまいか。
Man, fuck you, Kai. I can tell you BSing.
なんかムカムカするぜ。
Right, Paimon? This dude BSing us. But yeah, I want to try to do a discussion question every time I pop up from now on. Sometimes it'll be like gaming focused, sometimes it'll be anime focused, sometimes it'll be something else entirely. This time it's JRPGs versus Western RPGs. I don't think either is better than the other necessarily. I know for a long time, RPGs straight from the southern Mississippi waters, genius. Someone from Mississippi should make an RPG. I don't know what you'd be fighting, maybe racism, so it'd be like an unwinnable boss battle. But yeah, I mean, like I know a lot of people. I know growing up, everybody grew up on like on JRPGs, right, as opposed to Western RPGs. And when I say everybody, I mean anybody that played consoles. Like if you grew up playing consoles, you grew up on JRPGs. If you grew up playing PC games, you grew up on Western RPGs.
そりゃちょだからここじゃちょっとそうだな。
なんか
I don't want to drag that out. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, like I know. Woo, new quest. Like for me, I thought Western RPGs were like pointless, or like I didn't really have an opinion on them for a long time. And then like the first thing I saw, the first time I remember people hyping them up was like Skyrim. And like we talked about last night, Skyrim was just like the most boring looking shit ever. And then they started coming out with more and more colorful ones, and I realized like some of these can be kind of cold. But I don't, and then like at the same time, it feels like JRPGs have fallen off comparatively, right? Like when I think about JRPGs, or at least like definitely during the PS3 era, I think most JRPGs, the franchises just didn't have the same like punch to them that they had during the SNES, the PS1, and the PS2 eras.
この辺なら大丈夫だろ
早く教えろよ。一体何があったんだ？
う。何から話す
I
か。
remember doing this quest before on PS4, and I remember we got hoed.
お前たちに秘密を教えて
Like Kaya is playing us.
俺個人の過去に関わることだから他言無用で頼むな。
安心しろ。おいらの口は硬いぞ。
実は
I like how she just mentioned her lips were sealed and didn't just bring up like, yeah, you know, and the other guy, he never talks anyway.
いやいや反応薄くないか。さては信じてないな。ほら見ろ。この眼帯は海賊である祖父の
Look
遺
at
伝
my
な
eye
んだ。
patch. I
血が
inherited
つ
it
な
from
が
my
っている
grandfather,
証だろ。
and this is solid proof that we are related by blood. Can you inherit an eye patch? Is that possible? Is that a thing?
旅人。そんな
How
の
could you
常識
not
だ
know
ぜ。
such common knowledge?
母親のくせ毛が子供に遺伝するのと同じ理屈さ。
I don't think it is. I don't think it's like inheriting a hairstyle.
偶然見
Like
つけ
that's
たんだ。
that's weird.
お宝についての記述をな。
お宝？
手記によるとお宝の隠し場所は失われたアルカディア遺跡っつうところらしい。
お宝？
けどな、遺跡の所在については未だ手がかりがないんだ。
お宝？ガヤ、それはどんなお宝だ？金塊か？宝石か？
ふふん。金目のものなど三流の
Oh
お
shit,
宝
here we
さ。
go.
祖父の宝は剣だ。手にするだけで無敵の力を得られる真剣らしいぜ。もともとは天空の島にいる神が
I know it's supposed to be cute how distracted she is by this like
それを祖父たち
secret
が
sword
引き上げたん
weapon.
だそうだ。
But if the fan theories are true and she's actually a villain, this is like
雷鳴は轟き
beating you over the head with foreshadowing by how obsessed she was in this chapter.
突如として竜巻が現れる。真剣の力で祖父は8つの頭を持つ海蛇や銀髪のサキュバス、深淵の邪竜を倒したそうだ。しかしあまりにも強大であったため、他の海賊たちがその剣を奪おうとしてきた。争いを避けるため、祖父は真剣を隠したんだ。
Eight-headed hydras, silver-haired banshees, do they really exist? I should do the ... because I mean like it's not like my character talks anyway. It's more that silent protagonist nonsense.
世界は未知に満ち溢
The
れ
world
て
we
いる
live
から
in
こ
is
そ面
fascinating,
白いんじゃ
full
な
of
いか。
unknown and inexplicable wonders.
だが近頃ある宝刀団の動きが活発でな、いくつもの遺跡が洞窟にあっているんだ。そのアルカディア遺跡も奴らに見つかっちまうんじゃないかって心配なんだよ。そしたら真剣もきっと。
そりゃダメだ。悪い奴らに取られるぐらいなら、おいらたちが。とにかく安心しろ。おいらと旅人が力を貸すぞ。
If I had gotten the OG Xbox, I probably would have gotten more into the Western RPGs. Yeah, that's another good point. Like, if you played Xbox back in the day, you could have become a bigger Western RPG fan because they had stuff like the BioWare games, like Knights of the Old Republic and Jade Empire and stuff like that. So you had that hype.
とりあえず遺跡のこと。
Yeah, there we go. So you had those like really quality games that like these days you don't really get to see. Or let me rephrase. You didn't get to see them in the PS1, PS2 eras, and then the Xbox came along, until the Xbox came along, excuse me. And then suddenly you were like, oh wow, this is a lot. But like, who had an Xbox? Like, Xbox didn't really catch on to the 360 era, right? Like the PS2 sold like 140 million copies. funny story. I originally wanted the OG Xbox, but my folks said no because it was too expensive, so I got a GameCube instead. And that's another thing, like the cost of these systems, which is again why the Switch is kicking so much butt right now, because it's an affordable system compared to like the PS5 and the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I always forget the name because I always want to say Xbox One X, but I know that's not it. I only really wanted an Xbox One because, I only really wanted the original Xbox because it had Knights of the Old Republic, and I wanted to give Star Wars a try as a video game because I thought it might be cool as a video game. There are certain franchises that I always think, like, this could be better in a different medium. Like, I always wanted Mega Man to be an RPG, which is why I love Battle Network. But yeah, I know a lot of people wound up buying the GameCube because I know it was like, what, $100 at one point? It started out, I think, at $200 and then it dropped down to $100. So, like, I know a bunch of people played that. Either that or the PlayStation, because just everybody just had to have a PlayStation. It became like a status symbol, which is something that the original Xbox, definitely didn't have going for it. I wanted the OG Xbox because it had the best graphics at the time. Shallow, I know. No, that's not shallow. Like, that's what they marketed to us. At the time, they marketed, like, I remember, because this is, like, just after we got out of the bit era. 16-bit, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit. And then they didn't do 64-bit. They just leapt over that into 128-bit. But that's when they started measuring it by, like, clock speeds and shit. So, like, the Xbox was definitively the most powerful console on the market, but so, like, eventually what happened was they didn't have, like, Xbox had a very select group of games, and PlayStation had everything. Yeah, when I got the GameCube, it was $199 at the time. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Like, Nintendo knew what they were doing, and then that wound up carrying over to the Wii era, where they priced their console at $250, while Xbox was like $400 or something, and then the PS3 was like $600. The nerve of Sony. That did them no favors whatsoever. This one?
アルカディアそうか。
教会に依頼してみたらどうかな。ベテランの先輩たちなら力になれるかも。
ダメ。それはダメだ。もし他の冒険者たちに先を越されて。
なるほど。
Look, you already
それ
snitched.
ならしょうがないね。お宝。
そうか。
You doing a lot of telling, Paimon. But yeah, like, I feel like if the Xbox had been more popular, or if those games had been on, because like so many of the Western RPG games weren't even on OG Xbox, or they were only on OG Xbox. Let me rechange that. My first game was Batman Vengeance. For what, the GameCube? Or I'm assuming just for the GameCube. Also, that's still a pretty terrible first game. I know you might have like positive memories of it, but I don't remember anybody hyping up any Batman game before Arkham Knight. Arkham, was it just Arkham? Nah, it just wasn't Arkham. Arkham Asylum. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the GameCube. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't remember anybody hyping up any Batman games before Arkham Asylum. Like all the rest of them, like the one game I remember having a little bit of hype was what's the name of that shit? The one game I remember having a little bit of hype outside of Batman Arkham Asylum was the Batman Begins game. At that time, it wasn't a bad Batman game, to be honest. I remember people hyped up the Batman Begins Batman game because it was like, it worked off you terrifying your opponent. Like, you'd show up and scare the crap out of them, and people were like, well, this is kind of cool. But it didn't tie everything all together. And it really took until Arkham Asylum before people realized, like, oh, okay, that's how you do it. It was an average game at best. It did have the BTAS voice cast, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I guess that would have. Although, That feels like it's awful removed for it to have like the animated series voice cast, and it was like a GameCube game because like GameCube came out around like 2001, and BTAS would have been like long gone off the air by that point. Where the frick am I going? He says on stream in front of everyone. Okay, there we go. Wait, do I talk to this dude?
おっと、そんなくだらないことのために来たんじゃないぞ。天空の島から落
But
ち
really,
てきた
superhero games in general had a hard time until like,
金髪の
actually until PS2, until X-Men Legends and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, they had a hard time outside of like fighting games. You know, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel superheroes. X-Men vs. Street Fighter? Yeah, X-Men vs. Street Fighter was also pretty hype. But just superhero games and Spider-Man on the
石
PS1.
を探してるんだ。それに、それでサイリスさん。
アルカディアでも情報提供ありがとさん。
Yeah, now I'm starting to remember what happened with this. She went and told everybody.
情報提供
Yeah, she went snitching because Kaya just assumed that she would just snitch and tell everybody. There it is.
めぼしい手がかりを見つけられなかったな。さすがは真剣の隠し場所だ。とりあえずもう一度ガイアに会いに行こう。
You know, it's kind of a shame, like, and this is getting way off the topic of Western RPGs versus JRPGs. Although I can tie it back in. Give me a second. It's a shame that even this many years later, like this many decades later, they still can't come up with a good Superman game. Like, we've managed to do Batman like 4 times in a row. 5 if you count the Telltale games. And we still can't do a Superman game. You know what they should do? They should just do a turn-based RPG with the Justice League. Like a smaller game. Maybe put it on the Switch or something like that. And then you just do like a turn-based game. And then you don't have to answer all the questions of how do you do Superman without making him seem overpowered. Like, you just do RPG.
冒険者協会で聞き込みはしたけど手がかりなし。
当然だな。
わ
いや、手に入れがたいものほど手にしたとき喜びを感じられるものだろう。そこでだ、俺の方でちょっとした情報を仕入れてきてやった。知り合いに頼んで裏の情報屋に行ってもらってね。どうやらアルカディア遺跡について知っている人間が。
本当か？そいつは今どこにいるんだ？
そう慌てるな。情報屋にもルールがあってな。待ち合わせ場所はささやきの森だ。
そうと分かれば早速向かおうぜ。
その通り。俺も一応騎士だからな。助かる。もちろん情報量についてはこちらが持つから安心しろ。
任せろ。
If I'm skipping to Ultimate Spider-Man and Hulk Ultimate Destruction were pretty good for their time in terms of superhero games. You know, I actually forgot about Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, that turned out to be a pretty good game. Like you said, for its era, like, people liked that game a lot. People also liked Spider-Man PS1 and kind of Spider-Man 2 on the PS1. And definitely Spider-Man 2 on the PS2. The movie game. People really loved that game. And in Hulk Ultimate Destruction, people did, I guess because, like, all people really want out of a Hulk game is, like, as much destruction as possible. Like, give us all the destruction and we in there. And that game managed to do just that. It just gave everybody all the destruction and, like, all the chaos that people wanted. The OG Spider-Man game on the N64 and PS1 will always have a place in my memories. Yeah, that's what I'm, exactly, like, when people think about PS4, what they tend to think of when people tend to think about, like, PlayStation, they tend to think about, like, the Spider-Man, like, the original Spider-Man game. You know, now that I think about it, it's crazy how, for a long time, like, the only Spider-Man game people really loved was, like, the PS1 one. Then they had the PS2 one for a little while. And now once again, the most loved Spider-Man game is directly like Sony is directly responsible for it.
これ
Let me see if this works the way I think it does. Oh, never mind, he ran away. I was definitely finna like try to see if I could freeze him.
こいつはどうだ
Hey man, I really appreciate the raid. Welcome everybody to the stream. What is up? My name is Sage. We're going through Genshin Impact. Would you get done streaming World's Cutest Gamer? Oh my god, no. I'm still scared about this because the last time this popped off, I like died horribly at that. I just finished up Valhalla. Finished streaming it or finished the game? Also, how is that game? Because I've never, I've heard about it, but I've never actually seen it played. Finished that game. It's so good. It's very chill. That's what's up. My favorite JRPG is Parasite Eve. That's a good choice. I know there's supposed to be, there's a rumor coming out that, what the heck? What's happening right now? Who am I saving? Oh, whoops. There you go.
こいつはどうだ
My bad. What I was gonna say is there was a rumor that FF7 or Xenogears, also really great games. There was a rumor that was, well, not even a rumor. They are supposed to be remaking a whole bunch of Square Enix games going forward. And we don't know what games they're going to make. And my guess right now is going to be Parasite Eve, which I hope. Because that was always a really innovative game as far as, like, horror RPG. Like, that's such a novel idea that you wouldn't see in this modern era. And it would be great if it made a comeback. Xenogears is also a great choice just because mech RPG. And that seems like a no-brainer, and nobody wants to do that either. I'd love to see a Parasite Eve 3. We just gonna pretend like Third Birthday isn't a game, huh? I'm not mad at y'all. I'm not mad at Parasite Eve fans for that. Yeah, that's not a Parasite Eve game. Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna be the response. That y'all it belongs in the that's some weird fan fiction. It belongs right in that bucket with Highlander 2. Those games those parts of a fiction that everybody goes, this isn't real anymore. How are you liking Genshin? I mean, like, I had played part of Genshin before on PS4, but I hate streaming on PS4, so I was like, if I'm gonna play it again, I guess I'll play it on PC, because I never really got that far into it. But it's fine. It's so much better than I thought it would be, and it was everything I hoped it would be. Like, I never thought it was gonna be like a, appreciate the follow, Ilfit? Appreciate the follow, thank you. But I hoped it would be a good anime RPG, and it is. I never thought it was going to be like some top tier, next level JRPG that was going to like define the JRPG genre for the next few generations. Or the next generation, not generations, plural. I never thought it was going to be that. But it is good, which was everything I could have hoped it could be, as opposed to like, oh wow, this game wound up being like a disappointing piece of trash. Like a lot of games that are like, yeah, it's being made for mobile and, you know, PC. It winds up being like trash because it's just a mobile game. I didn't like the gameplay, but I understand that it's pretty solid. What, for this? The gameplay of this is kind of simplistic, but I mean, like, that's probably by design, just because it's meant to be picked up by as many people as possible. The only thing I hate about this game is its stupid stamina system. But I also think that stamina systems in most games are just bad. Damn it, missed it. Oh, did I not? Nope, did miss it. Awesome. And playable on phone. Yeah, that was another thing. Like, it has to be playable on phone. So, like, to be honest with you, I'm surprised it controls as well as it does, because I mean, like, most of the time it's gonna be played by people on like smartphones. Stamina will always be in gacha games. I mean, yeah, that's true. Although in this case, I don't know, like, I don't think that plays a part in the gacha element. I could be wrong. Like, I'm very early in the game. Like, I'm still in prologue. I just finished up prologue part 1 last night, and if I'm lucky, I'll get to prologue part 2 by the end of the night. But yeah, I don't know. Like, as far as the only thing that stamina affects is like how fast you can run and how much you can fly. I don't know if they can gacha that part. Like, I don't know if they can get any extra money off of me because of that. Now, I might be wrong. Why am I doing this? Why don't I just do this? There you go. But yeah, I always forget. I always forget when playing games like this on PC that I don't have to. Wow, you just get hit by things every time you pop up? That's a shame. But yeah, I always forget that I'm on like PC, so I don't have to deal with like the abnormally long load time. This one is weird. It simultaneously has the worst gacha system in any game, but it allows you to play so much for free. Yeah, I mean, like, it's meant to... They really refined the idea of gacha over the years in a good way and in a bad way. Like, it doesn't limit you from playing the game. It just locks you out of, like, so much of the, like, optional content. Like, all the characters that you have to, like, pull, it's like... And you have, like, such a low chance of pulling characters. Like, I got lucky, and off my first pull, I pulled, like, 3 characters. I pulled Bennett, I pulled Mona, and I pulled, somebody, I forget. Like, the rock and roll chick. I do wish this game wasn't online, just so I could, like, hack out the fucking stamina system, because it's... The movement can be really fun. Like, gliding and, like, stuff like this is pretty dope. Where is that guy again? I remember back when it first came out, people were starting new accounts to roll for better characters. Yeah, I mean, well, that's just about any game. Like, any game that has, like, rolls, like, you eventually just start rolling to see if you can, like, get a better character. No, not that. I think this is what I'm looking for, though. But I'm dumb. Yeah. Can you not, oh shit, I guess you can't. Okay, that's fine. I'm ready for the Grand Blue console game when it eventually comes out. Man, they really botched that game. Like, it's been in the works for so long, man. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I understand developers need time to work on games, and by all means, take as long as you need. I don't want another Cyberpunk ever to happen again, ever. But, like, holy crap, like, it feels like that game has undergone so much transformation. Like, it almost feels like they didn't know what they wanted it to be. Because now I think they even changed the main character. Like, the main character was, like, a created character for the game, and now it's like, nah, we changed that. It's the main character from the mobile game, which should have been what you did in the first place, but... Why change it so late? Publishers ruin games so often. Facts. Platinum was originally working on it, right? Yeah, that's correct. It was definitely originally a Platinum game, and then something popped off. I don't know, like, Platinum seems to have so many problems as far as video games. Like, every time I turn around, they're getting taken off a project for this reason or that reason. I give Platinum everything. Apparently publishers don't think so, because they just keep yanking them off projects. Like, every time I turn around, Platinum is on a project and then getting yanked off a project. First, Scalebound. Then they had that mobile game and they got yanked off that. Then it was Grand Blue. They were on that. They got yanked off that. I'm like, dang, man. Like, are they hard to work with, or are publishers just like, they don't want you to have too much of your vision? Like, which one is it? But also, they are working on too much. I mean, well... I think they only have like 4 projects right now, if I remember correctly. Like they only have like 4 going projects. Well, not 3 because they just released Wonderful 101, didn't they? So they had like Bayonetta 3 and then like a couple other projects that they were working on.
いや、戻ってきたか。その様子だと手がかりを得たみたいだな。
手に入れたはいいけど一筋縄じゃいかなそうだ。湖の城に6本腕の巨人が3体いる。2体は神の像を守り、1体は神々の財宝を守っている。
謎解きか。ベタなことだ。そうだな。湖の城はモンドのことで間違いないだろう。で、6
I want
本
to say it
腕
was
の
the
巨
Windows.
人
That was
は
the solution.
おお、さすがだ。風車の羽はちょうど6枚。それを6本腕の巨人
Don't make
と
me
して
cap like I
例えている。
remember how this worked out, but I think it was the Windows.
言われてみれば。
I'm ready for Metal Gear Rising 2.
3本の風車のうち神の像の近くにある2本が神の像を守る巨人。残りの1本が守っている。
お宝。おいらでもわかるぜ。
You know, all jokes aside, there was some talk about Konami giving their properties to other companies. Like, they talked about giving, well, for one thing, they said Silent Hill was in the hands of not one, but two different companies. And then also Konami was talking about giving their properties to like other developers just to basically farm them out and make money off of them, which seemed like a no-brainer. Like, they should have been done that.
うまくいくといいな。
行こう。その風車のところまで行ってみようぜ。
Look for the location in the riddle. I forgot about it entirely. Scalebound being canceled was kind of a bummer because it looked so exciting. And that was a lot of Xbox's problem last gen. Like, yeah, last gen. Let's just go with that. Like, current gen is PS5 and whatnot. Like, that was a lot of Xbox's problem last gen. Like, they couldn't get any games off the ground until it was way too late. Like, I remember they had that one E3 where they showed off like 4 or 5 different games and they all got canceled. It was like Fable Legends and Scalebound and what was it, Phantom Dust? They canceled that too. I'm like, dang man, y'all can't get anything going. My thing with Silent Hill 2 is my favorite game, is that if the news isn't Konami is selling the rights or Team Silent coming back together, I don't care that much. I think you gotta give everything a chance. You know, like what? Not you personally, but like let the game come out. See what the reviews look like. It might be good. It may not be. Maybe it sucks. Hopefully not, right? But at least like give it the opportunity to release and see if it's gonna be good. I'm not gonna be hype over another downpour. I just prefer a new IP in that case. I mean, it's always nice to have new IP, but here's the thing. Here's my thing about new IP. If the new IP is oh my god, does climbing a ladder cause you to drain stamina? Yeah, that's how ladders work. But yeah, here's my thing about new IP. If you're doing a new IP, verifies. I appreciate the follow, Verify. If you're doing a new IP and it has basically all the same ideas of an old IP, then why not just do the old IP if you have that option? Like, if everything is just like, if you're basically ripping wholesale off Silent Hill and you have the rights to Silent Hill, why not just do Silent Hill? As far as like a revengeance, I mean, they should do that just for the sake of like, sometimes there are some games that you should just do just because fans love it so much and it just does good. It buys you goodwill. And then there are certain things you can get away with later. Like Nintendo knows all about that. They have all these things that they do. They have these games that they put out and it's like, why'd you put that out? It's because the fans love them. And then they could get away with stuff like pricing Skyward Sword HD $60.
今回もよろしくな。
Solve the mystery or go for a hint. Yeah, we're gonna go for the hint because I don't know what I'm doing. This is the thing I've talked about before on stream, but in the future, they're gonna have to work a little harder as far as traversal methods. Like gliding like this is hella fun, and I would love to see traversal methods that have fun like this, like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a lot of fun when you do like the different types of traversal. I definitely feel that goodwill is being abused by publishers more and more. CD Projekt Red, for instance. Sometimes people want to be abused. I hate to say that, and that sounds terrible, but like sometimes it feels like people want to be abused. Like, even now, you have people defending Cyberpunk. It's a mess. They've shown it to be a mess. Not just the glitching. Like, there's all types of things wrong with that game where it's just like, yo, what are we doing here? And yet, people are still like, well, if you gave them a little time, they could fix it. Like, nah, they didn't want to. They wanted to get your money, you know. And then, like, even when people make the argument about Cyberpunk being like, oh, this was supposed to be for next gen. When this was announced, its release date it was before next gen consoles were even scheduled to come out. I imagine you need to build your engine specifically for that Spider-Man swinging. It depends as far as like engines and like development of engines. Like, I'm pretty sure it was built in Unreal. Thank you for the follow, Jamie Hayden. I'm pretty sure that was built in Unreal, but if it wasn't, even still, like, if you have an engine that's, what's the word I'm looking for? Not variable, but just like an engine that's versatile. An engine that's versatile enough, you can do anything. Yep. Give me that. Whatever, because I'm going to need to do that at some point. In fact, yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. The Cyberpunk world and environment was a 10/10 for me. Everything else was a mess. I'll stick with the tabletop version now. Like, if you go back and watch and this is the thing that really annoyed me and made me sad. You can't even trust gameplay anymore. Like, they lie in gameplay. Like, they released a 45-minute video of Cyberpunk gameplay, and then you go and play it, or at least even watching it get played, it's like, man, all this stuff is just a lie. Like, all the stuff you claimed you could do, you can't do. Like, you don't even have apartments in this game. I'm like, what? It's little things like that that fill out an open world that aren't present. And it's like, why isn't this here? Why isn't this in the game? Whoops. That one. There we go. That demo had me so hyped. Like, I just don't understand. Like, this gen was pretty bold in the fact that they were not afraid to just lie to you, just straight to your face. Just be like, here's a demo. Like, in the past, they would show you, like, CG. And you'd be like, okay, well, I know the CG's not going to look like the game, and that's fine. It is what it is. Now they'll show you gameplay. And if the gameplay will be a lie, it's like, yeah, you know, it's still in development. Like, alright, still in development is one thing, but y'all, some of this stuff you had no plans of keeping it in the first place. At least The Witcher 3 is still good. Facts. Witcher 3 is still one of the best games of last gen. What's going on? Hey, come here. Damn. There we go. Cleared out one. Incidentally, starting to notice that some of y'all need power up, so. I'm gonna switch to the dork, and we're just gonna go from there. But yeah, it's just like I think about like Watch Dogs. They lie about Watch Dogs, like they lie about visuals, and even the Watch Dogs, like the Watch Dogs thing, didn't even bother me that much. Like when they first showed that game off, and it was like, all right, this isn't what I thought it was gonna be, but it's fine. It's close to what I thought. It's not visually what you thought it was gonna be, but at least the gameplay is there. Now they have gameplay where it's like even the gameplay isn't real. Like, man, are we just gonna lie about everything? So basically, I can't trust the game until the term for trailer lies. I remember they used to have the term bullshot. Yeah, they used to have the term bullshot back in the day. But that was like when they used to show you like the game looked prettier than it was. Okay, cool. That's not gonna work. I'm gonna die. Yeah. That's one thing, like when they show you a game that looks prettier than the actual game, I'm annoyed, but generally they get it close enough in the range where I'm not like infuriated. But now they've gotten it to a point where you're just sitting there playing and you're like, okay, where's the features that you told me this game was gonna have? Like, where's the stuff that's gonna immerse me into the world further? And it's not there. Now they just show fake games. Exactly. Like they just line straight up to you. Oh my god, with Anthem, I was so upset. And I love BioWare. Like, well, I won't say I love them, but I did love Dragon Age Inquisition. I love that game so much. That was one of my favorite games of last gen. Like, that was the game where I was like, man, I got every dime of my money's worth out of the PS2. I love Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't even hate Mass Effect Andromeda. It's not a great game by any means. It's not great by any means, but I didn't hate that game. But man, Anthem, how did they not get what was good about that game? I don't know, for people who, if you haven't seen it, there's a point in Anthem, or there's a interview out for Anthem where they talked about, like, they talked to the developers, like, behind the scenes, like, you had anonymous developers talking about the game, and they didn't understand what they wanted that game to be. Like, they had a point where, like, the EA president, Patrick Soderbergh, something like that, the developers want to show you the Instagram filtered version. Man, don't they? Like, they had a point with Anthem where they showed, like, the little flying part, and the dude flew in and landed, and the EA president was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And the people at BioWare was like, are you sure? We were planning on taking this out. And I'm like, how do you look at this game and not see that you're basically making Iron Man on an alien planet? This isn't hard. There's actually a very interesting theory behind the newer BioWare and classic good studios putting out worse and worse games. It's called the hidden cost of crunch. I mean, let BioWare tell it. They've been dealing with crunch for the better part of a decade. Going all the way back to like Dragon Age 2, where they had to turn Dragon Age 2 over in like 18 months. And I mean, that was definitely on EA, and EA was trash for that. But like, now it just keeps happening. Like Mass Effect Andromeda, where it just seems like they don't understand what they want their games to be going into the game. The final product removes the filter in the Photoshop. That's like saying you drunk and you meet somebody at a bar, and you meet them and you like, oh, they attractive, and then you get them home and they trash, and you like, what did I do to myself? I spent my $60 and now it turned out to be a trash game. Well, they had the same problems as original Destiny, but they didn't have the amazing shooting to lean on long enough to add more content. And that's another thing about these games as a service games, like, what is it? Because back in the day, they used to have MMOs come out, and they would always have hella content. You could play those games for hours upon hours and get lost in those worlds. And even if you didn't enjoy the combat, which you scarcely did, or I scarcely did, because I always thought MMO combat was trash. But like, now they got these games that come out like Destiny or Division or Avengers, and I actually kind of sort of like Avengers. I'm doing an Avengers stream later in the month when they bring out the new character. Like, it was disappointing in some ways, but I do like the combat. But I just don't understand, like, why they're always short on content. Like, is content that hard to make? Because Final Fantasy XIV doesn't seem to have a problem like that. You have a studio like BioWare who would work super hard and have a game that seems like they wouldn't come out on time. Then they would put in the BioWare magic and get it done. Yeah, see, that's exactly the problem. The BioWare magic, they started to believe in that too much. They started to believe, like, even now, because that's what happened to Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, I remember Jason Schreier put out an article about that. And they were talking about how they just didn't know what the game was gonna be, but they were so positive that the Bioware magic would come through and save them. And it's like, man, that's not how video games, that's not how anything works. You can't just assume later on the game will wind up being flames. Like, nah, that's what? Who does that? The Bioware magic was skilled devs working insanely hard and being very talented, but they were crunched extremely hard. So each new project would come around, the devs would stay and finish, and some would leave. That's also a major problem with the Final Fantasy XIV was saved by Yoshi P. Long may he reign. Super hyped for Endwalker. That is true. When 14 first came out, it was a trash fire. I've heard some people say they liked parts of it, but overall, like, Realm Reborn wound up being like probably the thing that saved Square just in general. And I hopefully, like, Yoshi P can also do the same for mainline Final Fantasy, because it desperately needs the help. But yeah, as far as developers leaving, coming and going, that is a problem not just in BioWare but in general. Like, so many developers, like, you crunch them to death, and then they wind up, like, you're starting to see fewer and fewer older developers. Like, they leave for industries that are more profitable and that require less of them, so they can go home and see their fucking families. Imagine that. People want to go home and see their families. So these famous companies known for putting out great games slowly lose all their talent from being overworked. BioWare isn't BioWare anymore. True and not true. Like, you still have some of the people that are the head of BioWare, but it takes more than just, you know, a couple of 2 or 3 creative directors at the top to make a video game. So I mean, like, and they even then, like, I feel like a handful of the top people at BioWare just kept leaving and coming back. Well, game dev isn't a great paying job, and a social safety net keeps deteriorating. Accurate. Very accurate. Why is this dude's level red? Oh, because... I guess not, huh? Nope. I'm pretty sure he is behind 16. I look forward to seeing more from that. He's absolutely behind 16, and that was why... That's part of why people are so excited for it. He's behind it, and then they went and stole the, well, I say stole, I don't mean anything negative by that. They just poached the developer. They went and stole the developer who worked on the combat for Devil May Cry 5, so it'll be a very combat-intensive game, which, that actually could have been a discussion question, and maybe for another time. Turn-based versus action RPG. With BioWare, Bethesda, Blizzard, tons of other ones that don't start with a B, I can't think of right now. I mean... That's the nature of games. Man, it's a puzzle. Like, this fucking stamina system is killing me, because I would just climb the fucking mountain, but it looks like I almost have to go around. Yeah, I see what y'all telling me, but it looks like I'm gonna almost have to go around. Like, in any other game, if it was like Assassin's Creed, I would just climb. But if I try to climb, then this happens. Well, I think I finally climbed to a face that was... There we go. Okay, cool. Even still... Oh my god, that is so far off. Alright, well, let's see if I can get there. Yoshi P is overworking himself, that poor bastard. Yeah, it is unfortunate, but I think that's just the way of game development in general. Because you even see Nomura constantly working on like 50 games at the same time. They really need to start developing new talent, not just to help themselves or to help the people, but also just because it would be nice to have new people just working on video games. Oh my god, this is... I know I'm supposed to go around, but I don't think I'll be able to fly that far. Yeah, I definitely won't be able to fly that. Maybe if I do this. At least PS5 users won't have to rebuy Final Fantasy XIV. They can just get ported over the PS4 account. That's what wound up. I think that's what they did with PS3, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, as far as you owning a PS5, good luck with that. I heard recently they found a way to like do mining via a PS5, and it is very energy efficient. So good luck finding one now. If it wasn't bad enough, if there was a chip shortage, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. Fuck. Yep. Sony is going to lose so much money on scalpers. How are they going to sell games? Yeah, the chip shortage thing, not on top of the chip shortage thing, if the whole thing about miners figuring out how to mine Bitcoin, or I think Ethereum coin, if that turns out to be true, man, Sony is in trouble, because like I'm pretty sure they sold the PS5 at a loss, and as a result, they need you to buy software, which I'm not paying $70 for a game unless it's like one of my favorite games. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. But they need people to buy video games, and if they don't, they'll just be losing money on every console sold, and it'll just be them selling at a deficit forever. So they're going to have to figure out something sooner rather than later. And I just realized that I was low on health. When you see me do something goofy like that, it's because they've swapped the circle and X buttons. So I'm going off instinct and fucking up. There we go. My favorite story of the week was that crypto art thing was consuming so much electricity that it was terrible for the environment. You know, you would think after the winter storm we had that hit half the country, killed quite a few people, left a lot of people stranded, sitting there in the cold, freezing their ass off, that people would start to pay more attention to climate change. But no, still just gonna do whatever I want. Like, why would I care? Bro, please. Not like this. Please, bro. Let me have it. Nope. Yep. Fuck. This is absurd. Do you think Sony and Microsoft screwed themselves releasing Next Gen too soon? Maybe they should have waited until 2022. Screwed themselves how, Terrence? Like, as far as people bought, like, they're sold out. Those systems are sold out. That part was good. That was good for them. All right. Fuck. Really? There he is. People have trouble understanding disaster unless it's a spectacle, and the rhetoric along the snowfall was more of a public infrastructure failure than an environmental disaster. It was both. But I mean, people don't like that answer. That answer's not sexy. Like, when I tell you it was both, people go like, oh, what do you mean it was both? Like, no, it had to be this thing, or it had to be this thing. But it was both. It was both a public infrastructure failure and an environmental disaster. Like, the reason the electricity failed was because of public infrastructure, but the reason for the winter storm in the first place is because of the environment falling apart. They're sold out, but no one readily get one until probably 2022. I mean, as far as them being sold out, that's a good thing, and it sounds good to your investors. Well, it sounds good to your investors to say, yo, we're sold out. We literally can't get another one on the like, every time we put a console out, it's gone off store shelves. That always sounds good. I thought you were going to say it with respect to the pandemic and people not being able to afford one, but clearly that wound up not being a problem. I think it's all just that they, and mainly retailers, didn't have protection against bots. Even Nvidia didn't have bot protection on their sites. I mean, that's the flaw of this isn't gonna work either because I'm climbing too much. Okay, cool. Except if I don't get out of the water soon, I'm gonna drown. Not like this. Okay, cool. If I had drowned in water that you could realistically stand up in, bro, I don't know. I might have cut this game off. We'd have played something else because I'm gonna stream for at least 2 hours, but I would have cut this game off. If I had drowned, because you do, like, if you haven't played this game and you don't know what happens if you, like, run out of stamina while you're swimming, you literally just drown. Like, you don't get your stamina back quickly enough. It's over with. they released them at the right time, but they didn't sell them to people who are going to add value to the brand or actually support software sales. That is correct. That is exactly what happened. Like, they definitely, like, the people who bought them largely are like scalpers who are going to try to sell them to other people for raised prices, which is interesting. Maybe they didn't release them right, because like the PS4 didn't have that many and didn't have that much scalping going on. There was some, but for the most part, I don't remember people seeing, because there was enough on the market, so there weren't as many scalpers. Like this time around, scalping seemed to have been a big problem. So maybe they just didn't have enough product out or available, right? But they wanted that game out. They wanted to get those systems out. And to be fair, I understand. The PS1 and the Xbox One and the PS4 have been on the market for the better part of like 7 years. Like basically 2 presidential terms. I want Sony to release the numbers on the total sold PS5s versus the number that are activated online. Ooh. Total sold PS5s I think hovers around 5 million right now already. Somewhere between 5 to 7 million. We're gonna try another way. It's probably also an aspect of hustle culture getting more prominent. I mean, we've had hustle culture for years. I mean, I guess you figure like, oh, this is a way to make money, but like you had people, because I remember specifically, people tried to buy the Wii U. I remember that photo of a woman that bought like a truckload, like she literally had a van load of Wii U's. And I'm like, well, I'm sure this worked out well for this lady. So, I mean, like, people, they've always been scalpers. I can't think of the last time a console shortage was this long and this big of a deal outside of maybe the peak of the Wii U and Switch hype train. The Wii sold like hotcakes. Why would the Wii U not? I mean, that's technically true. At this point, it's kind of like a concern with Nintendo when they're gonna fall off. Like, when is the Nintendo gonna fall off? Like, they'll have like really long hot streaks and then they'll sneak a GameCube or they'll sneak a Wii U in. And it begs the question, does the system after the Switch, or maybe the system after the Switch, show up and just complete? Because like, Nintendo isn't in the business of selling you a better product. They're in the business of selling you a better toy. Like, they have the mindset that they're a toy company, and so their toys need new gimmicks. It's not enough to just put out a new console that has like really good graphics. They want to have like gimmicks to bring in the kids and to like get the people that like are really creative with video games. The Switch shortage has been going on since the Switch release. It ebbs and flows. GameStop wouldn't let me buy a Switch unless I bought ARMS too. Nintendo is in the business of never dropping prices. Accurate. That is a big problem with Nintendo to me. It feels like to me for Nintendo, if you can't buy a game when it first comes out, like day one or month one, it's just not even worth it to buy them because they're gonna stay the same price forever. Like, not only is, that's why people are so hot about Skyward Sword being $60, because like it's gonna come out at 60 and stay at 60. It'll be at 60 for months. Around March, June last year, the Switch was definitely hard to get. The Switch goes on and off, like as far as how hard it is to get. I don't think they expected, and rightfully so, because the system had been out for 3 years by that point. I don't think they expected that system to be that popular. I think I got it. I think we got it. Kind of, right? Yeah, kind of. Let's try this again. We need ARMS to play a Switch, sadly. Oh, wow, that was... But yeah, I don't think they expected Animal Crossing to be as popular as it was. And I also don't think if the pandemic hadn't happened that Animal Crossing would have been as popular as it was. Like, Animal Crossing was so popular, you had people running podcasts entirely in Animal Crossing. That's how popular that game was. Freaking finally. Okay. I think I might have figured it out. Pandemic buying due to boredom contributed to some of those sales last year. For sure. And as the number of people that are vaccinated continue to rise, and we start to see the end of the tunnel, so to speak, for the pandemic, we're going to see a lot of that drop off. Like right now, they're still seeing record high sales, but all those incredible, insane year-over-year sales, them shit's about to drop. Like, as soon as the pandemic ends, you can forget all that nonsense of fucking finally I did it. There we go. Alright. Gonna bully somebody. Man, that, I'm very angry right now. I'm pissed that I had spent so much time climbing. Okay. Animal Crossing was a success despite Nintendo's online policies. I know it. But yeah, I mean, like, that's part of the thing. Like, Nintendo can pretty much do whatever they want because they have such a loyal fan base. I don't think any other fan base in gaming is as loyal as Nintendo. Like, Sony has some loyal fans, and Microsoft has those. Microsoft has that underdog group, like the people that are like, oh, you know, they don't treat us fair. Like, underdogs can get really fanatical, but I don't think there is a company that has as much support from its fans as Nintendo. So Nintendo can get away with essentially murder, like charging whatever price they want for their video games, having shitty online, and any number of other things, being overly protective of their IP, like far above and beyond what any other company is protective of. They get away with all that because their fans are like fanatical. Alright, man, I'm gonna go support a stream. This is a fun stream. You're cool to chat with. Have a good night. Hey, man, you have a good night too. I appreciate you coming through. Right. Alright. You too. Nuts. Oh, tired of that. Salty about this. It shouldn't have taken as long as it did. This is nonsense. Everybody get it. What the fuck? What the? Really? How about this? Probably not my proudest moment. Nope. Come here. Come here. There we go. The only Switch I'm playing after the pandemic is over a Switch by Will Smith in the club. Man, me and you both know you ain't going to the... Oh my God, where did y'all come from? I'm sorry I killed y'all homies, bro. I didn't mean it. My bad, bro. Don't do me like this. Fuck. Nuts. Holy shit. Yeah, you and I both know I won't be in any club, pandemic or not. Shit, I might. Like, I know I spent the last X number of months in the house, anxiety, OCD, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. When this shit over with, I might just pop up in a club somewhere just for the sake of being there. Get the fuck out this house. Now, damn it, I don't want no more surprises. I was sitting here trying to talk to the stream, and I just got randomly bullied by people who were like, hey, what about our homies? Look, your homies are dead. It's over with. Very excited to become a barfly after all this. I mean, I think the bar industry is gonna be the first to experience like a big boom coming out of the pandemic. I don't think it'll be as like extensive as some people think, because like for me, I know I would only go for like a week, or like the first month, like maybe every weekend for like 4 weeks I go, and then after that I'm taking my ass home because I don't like it that much, but I do want to get back out of the house because that'd be nice. But I think that a lot of industries will see recovery, and a lot of them really won't. I can't wait to see how we mishandle this, because like through no fault of their own, a lot of people had to like lose money, lose business, shut down businesses, and the question becomes, what are you gonna do for all these people? How do you help them? Do you just say, oh well, them's the breaks? And can you do that? Like, how many people can you say that to before you create widespread unrest in the country? All right. Enough of that. Let's go talk to this dork. Waiting on my check, Joe Biden. Shh. Yeah, that check got delayed yet again. Not through Biden's fault, like not entirely Biden's fault, but it did get delayed because they're trying to get that $15 an hour minimum wage thing going. It is amazing to me how badly America wants people to be poor and yet hates the poor. Like, I don't understand. Like, you can't tell me that raising the minimum wage would be a bad thing. I just don't understand how it could be. I mean, whatever it is. Really all I wanted. Talent level up, freedom material. Actually, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna fuck around in the menu for just a little bit. Traveler's handy sword. Yes. Because that looks like a cooler weapon. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say, I got Jean in my party, so give her something cool. Will she currently have a clip? 23? 39, 40? Can't give me that. I've seen most people saying the minimum wage should probably be around $25, but who knows when. Gonna sign off for the night. Catch you later. Appreciate you for showing up, Terrence. I hope you have a good night. I've seen most people saying the minimum wage should probably be around $25, but who knows when that's gonna happen. Minimum wage would be, I think, close to $22 if it remained tied to inflation. But I mean, good fucking luck. Figured out how to stop that a long time ago, and they're not undoing it. Let's see. No, I'm not doing that. This and this. And this. Yeah. No. There we go. I know this early in the game it kind of doesn't matter, but I've always been the kind of person that can't help like tweaking characters as early as possible. Like the sooner you let me go and start being like, yeah, you can tweak these characters and improve their stats, I'm in there. Mostly because I'm an idiot. So it takes me a while to figure out how the system works entirely. So I'm like, all right, how can I make this pop off? And the best way to do that is learning through repetition. Another weapon, that bitch. Yeah. Now, see what we can do our parts up. Fire, water, ice. You can still. My Ara no Onesan.
星と深淵を目指せ。
Glad to have you here. Oh, wow. That makes things so much easier. Nothing be done about that. Okay. How do you? Okay, so just we'll stick with Mona just because her running animation is so cool. I think I was supposed to come in here. Wait, not here specifically. No, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Lisa, talk to. There we go.
物欲を抑えることは先生術師の修行の一部。質素な生活を送ることで世界の真実を覗くこと
Cool. Alright, let's get to climbing. So much fucking climbing in this game. Passion with her clear spring is just the front, but she's cold as alone. Her true heart is revealed.
何か分かったか
Any idea? You thinking about keeping Genshin in the regular rotation? So, Genshin will probably be the main game until I get close to the end, or like however much, because I don't know, like it is a developing game, so it's not super long. And if I play 2 hours every other night, it's only a matter of time before I catch up. But yeah, I do plan on keeping Genshin around until I get like annoyed by it. Like maybe unless I like hit a wall with the gacha mechanics, in which case it'll be out immediately. Other than that, it'll be Genshin, Shadowverse, and Trials of Mana for the foreseeable future.
お前らが拾ってきたのただの恋愛小説の切れ端じゃないだろうな。
なんだ間違って拾ってきてたのか
冗談だよ。
Oh, Trials is good as hell. Yeah, I saw a friend of mine streaming it last year and it looked great.
まあ
And I always wanted to play Seiken Densetsu 3. Like, I definitely played it. I played it on ROM, like, I emulated it a long time ago.
確かにこの謎は前回より難
It's really
し
hard
い
to
よう
figure
だ
out. Clear Spring.
清
Spring,
き
Spring Vale.
清き泉の情熱どんな時にいい発想だそれなら清泉町の裏山モンドの清き泉が情熱的な一面を見滝の心についてはおそらく滝の左側を指すはずだ最後の寂しさに震える時は氷元素を扱える仲間を連れ大したことじゃないさ
じゃあオイラたちは清泉町に行ってみるよ
ん
違った
Okay. In that case, I suppose I'm forced to put him back into the party. So, out goes Bennett. Swap.
楽しみだな
There we go. But yeah, Trials was, it looked like a lot of fun, and I did play Seiken Densetsu 3 on, like, ROM, like, ages and ages ago when I was but a young sage. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the remake is like. It looks like they put a lot of love and a lot of heart into it, so I'm hyped for that. I may try that Wednesday, it just depends. Wednesday, by the way, will be the next day that I stream. I may try that Wednesday. I don't know. Like, I'm not sold on it yet. Like, I kind of want to get a feel for Genshin, because, like, I hit a point in Genshin where I just didn't know what I was supposed to do in the game. And that's usually not me as far as, like, open world games go. Like, usually I'm, oh no. Okay, hold on. I looked out the window and I was like, I looked out over the wall and I was like, yeah, this is going to go poorly if I go this way. I always hate when you can't just take the shortest route. But yeah, I usually don't get lost in massive games like this. So for me to get lost, it must have been that I was just screwing up. And then it might have also been that I just was trying to put off main quest stuff instead of just going forward and doing as much of that as possible to let the game open up some more. So I do want to get a feel for this game, but also I want to stick to Card Game Fridays, where I'll be like getting my butt whipped on stream pretty frequently, I imagine. At least once we go online. Hopefully I'm not losing to like random freaking scrubs. Look, hopefully I'm not losing to the AI, because that's embarrassing. When you want to explore before the game lets you. Yeah, I mean, I'm bad about that. Like, I love seeing the story and the world. I love seeing the story, but I prefer to like get immersed into the world more. So like that's gonna be the first thing I go for every time. Like, what's the world let me do? Fuck that. What the fuck? Oh, okay, there we go. Gotta head out. Thanks for the stream. Hey man, I appreciate you showing up, and thank you for the raid. Thank you so much. You have a nice night. All right. Uh-oh. Let's see how this plays out. Get the fuck down. All right. Nope. Yeah, the only thing that's happening is I'm getting ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that. All right. Let's see what we can go find. Oh man, these rock formations gotta get the fuck down, bro. Zoom out. Start a challenge. Nah, we won't be doing that right now. I vaguely remember how this quest is supposed to go. My brain is also like, yo, how about you go get... Yeah, I'm gonna go into the distance first. There's one. That helps. Can you really not? That sucks. I think you'll remember next time. Whoops. 3, 2, 1, and...
おとなしくしやがれ。おとなしくしやがれ。おとなしくしやがれ。
Ice Bridge! Now, let's go over here and see if we can activate that other waypoint. Just to save time. People wanting smoke? I can give it to them.
この瞬間、お前は永遠を手にする。おとなしくしやがれ。
You just cook. That's what you can do. Alright. What the heck is this? Is it a reference to that up there? Is that what that is? I always think about the YouTube thing, because they had the voice actress for Jean. My bad, Lisa. They're the voice actress for Lisa, who I think is Ri Kugimiya. I think they had her on, they had her playing the game as herself, as the character that she voiced, and she was like mocking her own voice and like talking about, yo, please don't sound so lewd, mean. It was so funny. Like even she knows what she's doing. Where's the monster? Ow. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yo, you know what? I'll give it this. The animation is cold. Where is it? I don't see it. There it is. Nope. Get out of range. Yeah. You do not like wind at all. I mean, like lightning at all, huh? with me. Sweet. Okay. My stamina went up like a tick. Still kind of disrespectful, but it is what it is. It's like you thought. Let's see. Fuck.
おとなしくしやがれ。
運命が水面に映るのです。
Gotcha, bitch ass. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I guess, huh? Really? Huh. Yeah, we got enough. One up. Come on. Oh, you might have just skipped it. That's fine. Fuck. Blew it. I don't think I ever blew it before. First time for everything though. So. Alright. I think you need flame, and I don't have that. Or I do have that, but it would take work for me to unlock it.
運命が水面に映
This feels like some kind of weird puzzle, but I don't want to like waste everybody's time as I stare at it stupidly. So, off we go. You shouldn't sneak up on people when they're absorbed in something like that. How are your adventures going? Quite smoothly. I finished annotating the maps of Drunkard Gorge. Are you interested in my work by any chance? Yes. If you are, please take these as some of the knowledge I've gained in my adventures. Someday, everyone in Mondstadt will use the maps I've made. Okay. Nope.
これおとなしくしやがれ
Give me that. Mine now.
こいつはどうだ
Well, can you really not climb back there? Ah, I feel just goofy. Maybe the top. Yeah, I guess so, huh? If it's the top, then that... Whatever, like, memories of dealing with this before and they aren't pleasant. I remember this punk ass monster right here, that's why. What the... Bro.
これこいつはどうだすまんすまん
運命が水面に映るのです。これが運命です。
Y'all are cute, but like I wasn't bothering you, so I don't know why you just decided to pop up and give me the smoke. Get away from me. All right, let's see. Nope. There's gotta be a better way to climb up there. Or actually, maybe. Yeah. There you go. Can't you just stand? Nope. Annoying, but it's fine because the climb was totally possible. did not see it, but along the way, D&D, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. At some point, I need to get these alerts fixed. Because there are supposed to be alerts. There's supposed to be Scott Pilgrim doing a rocking sound, but I don't think that's popping up. Alright, good. We are at the top. I think, kinda, sorta. Yes, no? Yeah, but I don't think it does anything. Man. What the? Oh. I'm tripping. Bet. What the frick? Hold on now. Oh, there it is. Okay.
これで
Simple
謎
as
は
that.
全て解けたぜ。大変だったな。それよりこの宝の地図ずいぶんと雑
Looks
だ
like it was
な。
drawn by a pirate.
海
Yeah, that's
賊
what
ら
they
しい
said.
といえばらしいけど。それじゃあ。はあ。報告なんていらないと思うな。
Now you done went and told everybody about everything.
誰かにさ、例えばガイアが、おいらはただその噂の剣をこの手に。
Borrow it for
一目見れればいいんだ。天下無敵とか遊んで暮らしたいとか考えてないだからな。
Ain't that all you do now?
おしゃべりはお宝
Like
を
right
見つけ
now,
た
all
後
you do
に
is play,
し
it
よう。
feels like.
アルカディアのお宝探しの旅へ出発。
Like all you do is follow my character around and play all day. You walk up and down these streets all day, playing. Respect to anybody that knows where that's from. Wait, so. Oh, now you want to talk.
仕方ありませんね。
Get your fire.
準備完了。
お姉さんが助けてあげる。
Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I got lost chase. Oh, because I was chasing you. It was worth it. I'll take it. The door of the domain is closed. Only those with an adventure rank of 27 can enter. So, nowhere near what I got, basically. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Is there a way to speed this up? Nope. Nope, there isn't. Okay. what? Feels like somebody's following me, but I ain't got time for that. Oh no. Nah, we good. Okay. I was gonna say, man, don't tell me they finna hit me with that nonsense. Yeah, you straight. Not mean for it to be like that. Okay. Manly Jack. Shoot. Oh, you're just a traveler. I was convinced that you were a Hilichurl. What are you doing? Aha. Well, ever heard of a little something called manliness? What? That fellow Jack from the Adventurers Guild, he knows all about it. Says that if you defeat 10,000 Hilichurls, then everyone suddenly sees you as Mr. Manly, and so on. So, I'm currently getting ready to prove once and for all that I am the manliest man of the lot. I am not watching. I'm not watching that. What are you talking about? Bro, if you don't get the... Okay. This man over here talking about filing his nails and combing his hair and all types of other soft stuff. I thought you was trying to fight somebody. I thought you was trying to box, boy. Like this. Gotcha, bitch ass. Electricity probably. Okay. Wait, I think that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay. the fuck? What? What? Move, move. Get the fuck down. Okay, back to is this a town? Shit, it feels like one. Alright. We'll just make it go straight for the buried treasure, blah blah blah. And once we finish that, we'll wrap up for the night. I'll take it. I will give them this. At least that works, right? Like a lot of times, a gamer will come up with, or a player. I won't say gamer because it's so cringe. A lot of times, a player will come up with a solution, but the game isn't programmed to accept that solution. And so, like, something that is totally logical as a conclusion to come to, like, I should be able to climb up to this and take this. It's like, nope, you didn't do it the right way, and so they punish you for it. I think it was all the way down here, if I'm not mistaken. Is that worth it?
アルカディオ遺跡ってここだよな。なんていうか、わかったぞ。普通だからこそ誰も気づかなかったんだ。深いぜ、ガイアのじいちゃん。
The animation in this game is incredible.
ネズミだろ。ビクビクすんなって大丈夫だから。さっさと行こう。お宝が待ってるぜ。
I'm suspicious of Paimon, even though like everything in me is telling me like you should like this character. So he's just trying to be cute and have fun. Start. I feel like water and ice both aren't going to be necessary, so hold on. One of y'all gotta go. And I guess it should be Mona. Swap out for...
すごいな。
Yep. Wait. Yeah, that would be. Oh well.
しびれなさい。痛い。
Cooked. What? Cooked. Put the fuck down. Oh no. Oh no. It's what I thought. And to be fair, like I went in, I had the party set up, and the game was like, nah, bro, you straight. Try it again. Start. Yeah, start. Okay. Holy shit.
こいつはどうだ。これ
Really?
この瞬間お前は永遠に手にする。こいつはどうだ。これ
Got him. Light work, kind of.
こいつはどうだ。
It's entirely possible the game told me that there would be this many fire characters in here. And if so, I'm an idiot. But I definitely shouldn't have brought Bennett alone. And I definitely should have brought Mona
ここ
alone.
が一番奥か。
Oh well.
お宝。
The voice actress for Paimon is killing it.
手分けしてこの辺りを探そうぜ。
その必要はない。あとはこちらに任せてもらおう。お、勘がいい。イザードだ。応答団を代表して礼を言う。道案内。
Y'all did not go all that crazy for the naming on this game. The treasure hoarders? Come on, bro.
そんな。おかしい。オイラたちこっそり動いてたのに。でもオイラは諦めないぜ。
見くびってもらっては困る。俺の号令一つで外で待機し。俺と違って話が通じない。
お楽しみのところ申し訳ないが、仲間とやらがここに来ることはないぜ。
There we go.
そいつらとは もうモンドの牢獄内でしか会えないからな。もちろんすぐにお前も再会させてやる。その牢獄の中でな。
騎士団だと。
おガイアだ。ガイア、こいつお前のお宝を狙ってるみたいだぜ。早く捕まえろ。
あとちょっとだったというのに。
Bro, he ain't almost had enough.
お宝。
He made that shit up.
悪いがここにお宝なんてない
With
ぜ。
your goofy ass.
無駄足ご苦労さん。おとなしくお縄につきな。
お宝がない。
Oh.
今お宝がないって言ったか。
The last horse crossed the finish line.
やられた。騎士様も汚い手を使うんだな。
Shit, why not?
盗賊ごときに騎士の何たるかを語られてもね。おい、何をする気だ。
おとなしく捕まってたまるか。
Bro, what's the plan here?
なんだこれは。わざとじゃないんだ。
面倒なことをしてくれる。
おい騎士、なんとかしろ。俺を見殺しにする気か。
ああ、それも悪くない提案だな。
待った。わかった。ちゃんと罪を認めるから早く助けてくれ。
交渉成立。少し残業。
やみつきにならないでね。
Ow. Ow. Knock it off.
ちょっとビリビリさせないとね。しびれなさい。
Ugh. Gotcha, bitch ass. Cool.
まさか騎士団に助けられるとは情けない。
約束はしっかり守ってもらうぜ。さもなくば、今のよりもっと恐ろしい目に遭わせてやるからな。
おい、犯罪者への扱いがひどすぎないか、騎士団。
冗談だよ。さて、こいつをモンドへ連行しろ。
はっ、ガイア隊長。隊長、この二人も連行しますか。
Take me in for what? Yeah, there you go. I'm not going to jail.
功労者だ。
Kayak
こ
would
いつ
have
ら
to
が
take me in
偽情
himself.
報をばらまいてくれたおかげで楽に宝刀団を捕まえられたんだからな。
嘘つき、嘘だらけの悪人、騎士団の恥さらし。
Yeah, but you look like a good
ストッ
patsy.
プ。わかったわかった。お宝は嘘だけど、お前だって一瞬独り占め
She
しようと考
definitely
え
did. That's
た
why she
だ
didn't
ろ
tell
う。
you.
でないと、なんで俺に報告もせず先にここに
Gotcha
来たんだ。
I love that answer. Well,
ちょっと待ってくれよ。
what?
今回の件は2人のおかげで助かった。礼はちゃんとさせてくれ。この剣は夜を切り裂く勝利への仏業神剣。名前の通り、光と勝利を象徴
Weapon
す
that
る
will
剣
be
だ。
useless in
この
a couple
霊
of
能の
days.
神剣は俺個人が大切にしているコレクションだが、これでよければ謝礼として2人に譲ろう。
黎明の神剣。
そうだ。 話のわかるパイモン殿にふさわしい剣だろう。
まあ俺がその黎明の真剣だって言うなら
分かってくれるな。お前たちのような優しい友人を持った俺は果報者だ。
なあ、
今回の件は本当にすまなかった。でも安心してくれ。同じことは二度としないと誓うよ。
So you'll use a different method next
そ
time.
れじゃ俺は帰って
Say it did not give me an answer. You know, it was a great method. I won't use it again. You'll use a different method.
また
Hey
記
man,
者
this is
に
a
会い
great
に来て
day.
くれよ。じゃあな。
Like, man, I know what you're doing. You're not fooling me. Okay. I think that does it. All right. I would like to say that it was a productive night. It was not. It was at least fun. It was fun talking to you guys. It was fun shooting the breeze. This is what I was hoping to, what I was aiming for in the first place, of just like a place where people could relax and talk about whatever the fuck they wanted to talk about. So I guess the discussion question in that respect helped out a lot. We will be back Wednesday with more Genshin Impact. I'm gonna try to switch into a longer stream, but I'm not gonna lie, like no cap, I was exhausted. If people hadn't come in, I probably would have passed out during the stream, which would not have been good, right? So I appreciate the people that came through. I appreciate the person that's watching now. As always, whether it's 1 or 100, I thank everybody. I love you all. Y'all have a good night.